Right, so we're here with the one and only, the Romford Bull. Needs no introduction, but I've got one thing I've got to discuss before we get into anything else. We're in the amazing Robin's Pie and Mash shop. I kind of assumed, I thought it was a done deal, you'd be having 2 and 2, 2 pie, 2 mash, but instead I came in and you've got a bit of salmon in front of you.
Well, I thought I'd just change it up, Ruth, for the programme. Throw a curveball in there, and I saw it on the menu and I thought, listen, the pies in here are great quality, the meat is Scotch beef, is high quality, high grade, so you won't feel too guilty about eating it, but a bit of salmon, nice bit of fish, it was lovely with the liquor all over the top of it. You've got to give it a try one day. I don't know if you'll be too keen, but anyone else, give salmon mash and liquor a try next time.
You heard it here first, right. We'll get into the boxing stuff. How are you feeling? Where's your head at?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Been training, took a few weeks off after the fight, obviously. A bad loss, a loss that I think has kicked me into gear to make a few changes, and it's a bad thing what happens, you're losing, but it's also, I'm optimistic about what can come out of it, because I look back on that fight and I didn't give the best performance or the best account of myself at all in the way that I went about the fight, and in a way it sort of made me clear about what I want to do moving forward. So out of a bad thing, good things can come as well. So I'm relatively optimistic about what I'm going to do next.
Yeah, I mean, you only had 10 amateur fights, is that right?
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of people realise that when someone turns pro and they haven't got that huge amateur background, that huge amateur pedigree, what you see is a fighter that would have learned a lot of the fundamentals in the amateurs. They're then learning it as a pro, and with your case, in front of a huge fan base.
Yeah.
So how do you think that's affected you?
It was hard. It was hard to go through, but I feel like I didn't think about it. I just done it, and I think that was my strength in the early days. Just not trying to do anything in particular, just using my raw, natural strengths, and that gave me some great nights, some great knockouts. Obviously the fan base, it's actually a positive, because after your third or fourth time of doing it, you're used to it.
Yeah.
And walking out in my last few fights, I've not had any nerves of it whatsoever. It feels normal now. So positives, but then I feel like when I've tried to break it down and slow it down and be a bit more technical, it hasn't worked for me, but that's why now it's about bridging that gap and doing it the correct way. I try to do it sort of without any prior knowledge of how to do it. Now it's about doing it the proper way and becoming a better version of what I am.
That's it, because like you said, I think it's clear when people watch you, your strengths are power, grit, fitness, you're a real athlete.
Yeah.
But you can refine that, and you can refine those fundamentals, and that's what you're trying to do now, right?
And it's not about changing what you are, it's about making better what you have, you know? And it's not about boxing in the way. Like, I'm never going to be a technically gifted Usyk boxer on the back foot. I might be able to do it for a round, or I might be able to get out of the way for a little bit, but my strengths are having a big powerful jab and building everything off of that and being aggressive and being in people's faces, basically.
Do you feel like in that second fight with Dave Allen you moved away from that too much?
I think so, and it's not to... I was on board with it, but it was my fault as well. I think it's a logical thing. After having a close fight the first time, we tried something new, we tried something different. But probably in 3-4 months to try and do that, a little bit short notice of the time to do that. And probably looking back in hindsight, it's so easy in hindsight to look back, but if I was a bit more of a physical specimen of what I am, got that bit of strength back after the bicep injury a little bit more, and put the pressure on and use my boxing skills in an aggressive way, it would have been a different outcome. But it might have gone, it might still have lost, but I feel like I could have gave a better account of myself doing that. But it's so easy to say that once a result like that has happened, you know?
Yeah, I mean, hindsight is obviously a great thing, but
exactly.
You're along the line now, you've had time to let it all sink in, and you are part of a new stable now, is that right?
Yeah, I'm with Tony Sims now. I've been training there for 2 or 3 weeks now. Obviously went up with Jamie Moore for a bit. It was brilliant up there. Jamie and Nigel always conducted himself brilliantly in the build-up to both fights, and it was an honour to go out there and spend some time with them, but never thought anything was going to come of it. It's just having a look, keeping my mind open. I got to Tony and it just sort of all fell into place from there. So I don't think you can ignore things like that, and I feel very comfortable in that.
That must have been a big step for you though, because obviously you've been with Mark since the beginning of your career. You've had some huge moments with them. Jimmy's obviously been there as well, and he's got a bucket full of experience. So, I mean, I feel like in boxing, there's always this thing about boxers want to stay loyal and all the rest of it. So that must have been a hard choice for you to make.
It was very hard, and it's something that I thought about for nearly 2 months. And listen, Mark's my friend before anything else, and that's one thing I was worried about. And it is hard because you build a friendship. I spent more time with Mark than I did my own family, you know, through them training camps, and we built a real bond in the corners of fights, in the Saudi fight. We've had some great memories, knocking Babic out, winning the Southern area, boxing in Vegas, and Mark is my friend before anything else, and I was wanting to make that clear when I met him face to face and said, look, it's not about saying you've done anything wrong or anyone in the team's done anything wrong. I'm the boxer, it's my fault, I've lost, and I made the decisions. The reason that I want to part ways is about the fact that I can do something else in this game. I don't have to be a boxer. I can do something else completely. I don't even have to be involved in boxing. But if I want to continue, I feel like I need a fresh start. I need something new. And it wouldn't be fair to either of us to keep flogging a horse that I thought was down and out for a long time, you know? We'd be down and out for a long time. So we ended it on great terms, and Mark's always someone who's welcome around my house, and he's part of my great close-knit friendship group, and I hope that never changes. And the same goes for Jimmy. Like, he's a legend of a man.
Yeah.
And they'll always have a place in my heart, and that is the truth for me and my whole family.
Yeah. It's nice that you've managed to keep it that way.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, well, for example, someone once said to me, and this really rung true, a boxer only has one career, and it's not a very long one, as we all know. Whereas coaches should have numerous fighters, and ultimately you've got to do what's best for you. And
that's the reality of the game, right? Like Mark Tibbs, Tony Sims, Jamie Moore, whoever it is, whatever trainer you ever look at, they've got more than one roll of the dice.
Yeah.
I've got one roll of the dice. I've got one brain in here, and there's only so many hits to the head it can take before something seriously bad can happen. And I don't say that lightly, because we've seen in the last year or two 3 or 4 people passing away and more all over the world. So I have to be, unfortunately, a little bit selfish, and it's hard when you built a great bond with someone like Mark, who's seen me from a 10-fight novice as an amateur and brought me the whole way through. It's very, very hard to then have to break it off, and it took a lot of time and thought to come round to it. But I have to put my health and my brain first, and I've only got so much time on the clock to do something in this game. 26 now, so I'm still a young man. But you're lucky if you've got 5 or 6 more years left in the sport.
Yeah. So you've been in the gym a little while now with Tony. Like you said, you was up in Manchester training with Jamie Moore. We mentioned earlier, obviously, you're doing a lot of your learning in the ring.
Yeah.
Which a lot of fighters would have done in the amateurs. What specifically have you been working on with Tony that you think is going to kind of push you into a better version of yourself?
I think that's exactly it. It's about, what am I as a fighter? How can we enhance that?
Yeah.
And one thing we're working on, a lot of rotational stuff, and using my whole body.
Yeah.
Not just my arms and my torso. And I've had some good knockouts, but a lot of them have been with the top half of my body. Like throwing my top half into shot. I think of the Armstrong one. A lot of arm punches. But if I can unlock that, it's called the kinetic chain. And me and Sonny Cannon do a lot of work on the kinetic chain. And my physio John has actually said a lot about how we can unlock things if we enhance the kinetic chain. So from your feet all the way up through your hips to your waist, turning into shots, you can train that and enhance it outside of boxing. But until you get the movement pattern right, you're not going to unlock that extra bit of power. And I've been doing it so far without that, really. And it's just taking a bit more of a scientific approach to that. And I think that's one thing that I've liked about Tony, my stance, and looking at things like that. We haven't really hit pads or bags yet. It's a lot of shadow boxing and looking at footage of things and having an understanding of where my feet need to be, what shots I need to throw at what point, how I throw a jab in this position.
Yeah.
And that sort of tutelage what I didn't really have from my amateur days, because I had a really short senior career and a short junior career. So I'm learning it now, which is late, but it doesn't mean it can't be learned. I've got the natural grit, I've got the natural athleticism. That's all stuff that you can't really learn, but I can learn on the job doing this stuff. So it's good to see it from a different perspective with Tony, you know?
Yeah, there's so much experience in that gym. And that's one of the things I think when you watch that rematch, especially with Dave, you can see he's got a lot of experience.
He has.
And you could see, you were almost, literally watching it, you could see it was almost like you were learning in there, in that second fight.
And I saw something today about Dubois and Usyk, people saying that Dubois is going to learn so much from the rematch, it's going to be better. I bought into that a little bit, but really, if you're a tactician like Usyk and a knowledgeable man and a clever man, he probably picked up more from the first fight and collected more data than someone like Dubois can, or what I could do with Dave, because I'm not saying Dave and Usyk are on the same level by no means, but I'm saying that they're experienced guys who've been around the game for a decade or more.
Yeah.
And they can pick things up quicker than what people who are a little bit more raw to the game can.
Yeah.
That don't mean my potential isn't there. My potential is very high. But in the space of 3-4 months to go straight back in for a rematch, yeah, it's probably the honourable thing to do, but if I was a little bit less worried about that, I probably would have gone round different routes. But that wasn't right. That wasn't morally correct to do that, because it was a close fight. I thought I nicked it by a round. Could have been a draw, could have been a round Dave's way. I wouldn't have moaned it anyway. But yeah, the moral thing, the correct thing to do was do a rematch, and I actually am content that I did do it.
You don't regret it at all?
I didn't run away.
No.
I didn't scoot around the question, you know. I did what had to be done, and if you fall on your shield and do it that way, you can't ask for any more.
No. Yeah, that's one thing that I've noticed with you is you've constantly got this level of down-to-earth humility even after the loss, which I think a lot of the time you see someone loses and all of a sudden you see a different side of them. But so you never regret taking that rematch after that first fight when you, like you said, it was super close. There was one point in it.
Yeah.
You ended up getting it. Did you at any point feel like the public or the media specifically turned against you?
Listen, there's always people that are on your side when things are going right. You see it on a much, much bigger scale than me with people like Anthony Joshua. You see it down the street. I remember when he lost to Ruiz or when he was losing to Usyk. A year earlier, everyone was going, hey, AJ, he's amazing, he's unbelievable. And then I walked into a boxing shop once, and there was AJ's highlights on the screen, and people actively saying, he's useless, that bloke. He's absolutely useless, he's shit, he's terrible. The bloke's won a world title twice, hasn't he? He's been thought the best man of this era and lost to him on points narrowly both times. Like, people are a little bit fickle, but the good thing is, where I'm from and the people that I'm surrounded with, I've got real people who tell me the truth, but they're always supportive as well.
Yeah.
And you notice the difference between people that are supportive and criticise you and people who just want to criticise you because they're jealous.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's human nature that some people are like that. And do I think people turn against me? Not really, no, because people are entitled to their opinions. People are entitled to think this and that. Whether they factually can be called correct or not is another thing, but if you're a professional boxer and you're in the public eye, you've got to be open and ready for the criticism that comes with it. That's part of why you get paid so much as well, because you're going to get haters, and sometimes when you've got haters, you're going to do well. Look, I think of my dad, he's completely unrelated. He's got like 600, 700,000 Instagram followers. Everyone loves him, but the bigger his following's got, that 1% of people goes from 100 people to 1,000 to 10,000 people. And then, there's a big little army of people that hate you as well at the same time. But that's life, unfortunately. That's the world we live in with social media.
Yeah. You've experienced the highs and the lows now at this point, really, because like you said, you've had some amazing moments. You've boxed out in Vegas. You've had some highlight reel knockouts, but you've also had those low moments where you've been on the losing end. You've had some of the media saying rubbish about you, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But you keep coming back to boxing, and whenever I see you, you always seem like you're in love with the sport. You're in love with the game. What is it that keeps coming back?
I did this when I was at university, travelling backwards and forwards after I played rugby on a Wednesday to go and spar at the Repton or go and do this. I'm here because I love it, and now I'm getting to do it on the world stage, really. When I think about the Fury Usyk fight that I was on, people all around the world got to watch it, so why would I not love it? I'm not going to if you let people get you down, or you let people, you never do anything in life, will you? If you get worried about that. They've won if you let that happen. And it's, I do this for free, so the fact that I can earn a living from it, it's a bonus, you know? I do it, I love boxing, I always have. And I think it's the purest form of sport that you can do, where you've got to be honest. And I could mope around, and I could become a different person, and I could have hid away from everything. But what sort of bloke are you if you do that? Just because you've lost a fight? I look at it this way: I've for my first 13 fights I've won, I think of the great memories I've had, would I trade all that in if it meant that I wouldn't have got knocked out at the end? And the answer is absolutely not.
Yeah.
I've got all them great memories, and now this is the next memory. Might be a bad one, but now it's down the bottom. The only way for me to come back now is to go up again and keep building again.
Yeah.
It's exciting as well.
It's a proper journey.
Yeah, and I've done it to other people.
Yeah.
I think about how Babic would have felt. I thought about how Armstrong would have felt. He was convinced he'd beat me because he had a bit more experience than me. They must have felt awful. It was my turn to feel gutted and feel like I've done it. I'm only a human being, and you can't think of yourself too proudly or too highly to think that it can't happen to you.
Yeah.
Always knew it could happen to me, especially as a heavyweight.
Yeah, that's it. And now that loss is behind you, where are you looking now? Because the heavyweight scene is so exciting.
That's what I mean. There's some great fights to be had out there. I think of Solomon Dakers, who had a great fight on the Dubois Usyk card. Fraser Clark's rebuilding. And look at Fraser. He's a good friend of mine, Fraser. He's had a bad knockout against Wardley, where he looked like in a really terrible place. And now he's built a bit of momentum back after beating Ebenezer Tete, and he's building his own bit of momentum. Just because you lose, it's not about the loss, it's how you handle the loss and come back from it. David Adelaide's fighting Hrgovic. You've got some great names at that British level. Jamie TKV, Dave Allen in the mix. Just got to get yourself back involved there. And then you go up and up. You look at Wardley, who's come from no amateur experience whatsoever, and he's on the verge of a world title. So the heavyweight game is a special. It's a little bit different to the rest of it. The lottery involved in it, and it's exciting. So there'll always be something out there for you to do.
Yeah, and a lot about timing, I suppose, as well.
Of course, and it weren't my right time to go forward, and then I beat Dave, and then I go up to another level from that. Was I ready? Probably not. Was I ready for Dave? Probably not. But I am where I am, and I'm better for it for the experience I've got now.
Yeah. Do you think that's a lesson for young people, young boxers out there, that it's like a loss is fine, it's okay? I feel like a lot of fighters, especially young fighters, put such an emphasis on this unbeaten record.
Yeah. Listen, winning, we all want to win. We love winning. It's great to win. But yeah, every other sport, it doesn't seem to be the same. Even UFC, a lot of the greats have got losses on their record. In football, you can lose 1 week, but you play again next week, so it's a bit different. With us, it's like your whole life is built up to that, and that's where it feels a bit different, and you're gutted when you lose because you put everything into it, and you think you're doing everything right. But the highs are really high, the lows are quite low, very low.
Yeah.
It's just the game that we've chosen.
Yeah.
So let's get back on it and keep building back up to them highs, because they are amazing. It's better than anything else in life. That high of all that hard work paying off. So let's get back to them.
That's it. And I think your whole fan base is really looking forward to seeing you back out there. And that's the last thing I wanted to touch on.
Yeah.
I've always found your career a little bit fascinating, because I remember going to shows around London and Essex, around the country, and whenever you were on the undercard, it was like your fans set the place alight. And I remember thinking, what is it about this guy? Like, why has this guy got such a huge fan base? It's not like you had a huge amateur career where you went to Olympics and all the rest of it. So what's it been like from the very get-go, having this huge, loyal fan base?
It's not, when you say that, it's like, I get like hairs stand up on the back of my neck, because it's not about me. It's about the people, like here in Romford and further afield. There's a group of people up and down the country, of loyal people, the people that want to get behind someone and support people. We talk about the haters, but they're so far outweighed by the good people that are still out there. And it's because it's not just about me, it's about the community that we represent. And when I say community, yeah, I mean Romford, but I mean hard-working people that are just normal people up and down the country. It's not about being working class or middle class or upper class. It's about being good people, and I think people look at my family, not just me. We try and be honest, we try and be hardworking, and we keep it real. That's what it's all about. We keep it real, and whether you win or lose, we're going to do the same. And that's the good thing about my supporters. They'll turn up and watch me, whether I'm fighting in a 4-rounder at York Hall, which I'd love to do, by the way, because I love York Hall. I want to do that one day, or a 12-rounder at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
They want to be involved in great nights and exciting nights, and it's not just about the night and the fight. It's about the build-up to it. It's about the characters that are in the army. I think of my brothers. I think of my family friends of Brad and Justin Blue and all these people that I can look at in that crowd, and I know that bloke from here, or I know that bloke because he's mates with him. Yeah. Right, and that feels special, and it gives me a real lift when I'm walking into that ring to see sponsors, and I think of Chris Cole, who's a really good friend of mine. I think of Ollie. These people are part of my journey, and people feel like they're invested.
Yeah.
And it gives me a sense of passion, which really wants me to keep going in this game.
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned there, you always mention your family, and I think people love that. You're such a family man. And it reminds me, actually, after that loss to Dave, you open up and we saw some real raw emotion from you in that changing room. And you spoke about something that I have never seen you spoke about, which is the hard times you've had with your family, when you were working with your dad, when you were trying to pay off some debt.
Yeah.
Do you feel like those hard times make these good times and this following you've got even more special?
That's why I feel like we've already won, because 5-6 years ago, and COVID especially just accelerated everything. And it's not as if it's like we're exceptionally different to anyone else. Everyone in life is normal, has them sort of financial worries and things like that. Just because you're working and you've got a good income, in this climate as well, it doesn't mean that you're comfortable. It means that you're just keeping everything at bay. And one thing goes wrong, like a COVID or someone's van goes or something like that, you're one step away from not being secure anymore. And in COVID, unfortunately, my dad did rack up that debt of £350,000, but he had to keep the bloody business going. It was a cash flow issue. With the business he was in, buying and selling cheese to different suppliers, cash flow is everything. And if you don't have that flow of product coming in, you can't do it. And he's paid it all off now, like bit by bit, and he kept his word. And that's more important than anything. So I look at my dad, I look at my family, and I look at the struggles we went through for that time. We couldn't be better than what it is now, even with that loss. We're more comfortable, and we get to enjoy, and I get to do something that I love. So I don't forget the hard times, because that's what makes you appreciate what it's like now. And it's the same for everyone else up and down this country. We're not special or anything like that. I think people can resonate with us because everyone's got them troubles in their life at some point.
I was just about to say, I really think that resonated with people because, like I said, we're used to seeing the fun side of you, going down the Chinese, spending time with your family, spending time with your mates. But that was a little window that I don't think a lot of people had seen before. And I really feel like that resonated with so many people.
And I don't want to bang the drum of it all the time. So that just felt like an appropriate moment to bring it up, because that was like what probably would vision, if they didn't know me, they'd think that's the darkest time of my life. Losing, getting knocked out in front of your fans. Like, that isn't a dark time. A dark time is when you're worried about your mum and dad not being able to pay your mortgage for the house you live in, worried about not paying the bills, or even worse than that for some people, a family member gets really ill and stuff like that, or something you can't help. That's real dark times. Losing a boxing match isn't a dark time. Losing someone you love or losing financial stability, that's a real problem. So I can't moan about anything.
No.
Yeah.
Well, for what it's worth.
Yeah, of course you can. Should we come in?
Go on, come in.
I'm going to get a picture. Bosh. How are you?
As you can see, Johnny's got a lot of fans around here. Like I said,
did you come to the fight?
Yeah.
What one? The last
a
one?
loyal
That
fan
wasn't a
base
good one, was it?
in Romford and around the country.
We'll be back. We'll get another
And
one.
since I've been here, everyone's been wanting pictures with him.
We'll be back,
He's taken
don't worry.
pictures with so many people since we've been here.
Brilliant. Thanks, lads. The comeback is on. We'll see you soon.
See you soon.
So, like we were just saying, and actually, I was literally just about to say, for what it's worth, I think you are an unreal role model for young boys and for young men. And I think in a day like today, when life is hard for everyone, and for young men not knowing what path to go down, financially times are hard, I think you're a really great role model because
it's young men, it's young girls as well, but I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that I want to be a role model for young boys and young men.
No.
I think it's important, and I feel like in the culture that we live in now, we're being told that masculinity is toxic, but not the correct way of being a masculine person, of being caring, being strong and being a humble person, and knowing that you're strong, but also knowing that there's people out there that need your help. Being a masculine man and having them qualities is a good thing for society.
Yeah, almost showing that you can be a masculine man and also have empathy and also be kind.
I feel like there are examples of bad men out there. Of course, there's bad women, there's bad everyone out there, but being a good quality, trying to act as if you are a gentleman or trying to be a gentleman, that's a good thing for young men to try and be like. And especially in today's day and age where we are being influenced by our phones and social media a little bit too much, and there are some bad influences out there. If we can, for young boys in particular, if we can give them someone to look at who's trying to do something, and it's not even about being successful here, it's about doing the right things, it's about working hard, it's about being a family person, it's about looking out for people who can't look out for themselves. They're all important things in life, and yeah, that's why I like going to the schools and doing things like that.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's great. Before we go, have you got any news about your next fight?
Hopefully we're looking like October, we should be announcing it in a couple of days. And yeah, we're going to build a bit of momentum back, gel with a new coach.
Yep.
A couple of fights this year. And October the 11th is looking like.
Amazing.
So,
I can't
we'll
wait.
get ready.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Johnny.
Brilliant.
I really enjoyed it.
Thanks,
Next time I'll come, I'm going to have to try the salmon.
You'll try next time. And maybe
Amazing.
I'll have pie mash and you can have
That's
the
it,
salmon.
we'll swap.
We'll have a swap over.
Guys,
Brilliant.
I hope you enjoyed.